It's a man. Look at that huge clavicle. They are all inverted. It's kind of funny to me now that they're even transvestigating Sydney Sweeney, who was previously meant to be like, you know, the conservatives' darling. She's in their ads, she's in their shows and movies. All of the conservatives are in love with her. Not even she's safe from transvestigation, because transvestigation is a mental illness. Also, notice how it doesn't matter who it is, when they're talking about someone they believe to be trans, they never refer to them as he or she. They wrote, it's a man. And this isn't, you know, by accident or a coincidence. This is a direct attempt at dehumanizing trans people. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. And today we are going to be returning once again to r/AreTheCisOk. No. Absolutely not. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if you think that's worth it and that's something you're interested in, please do consider joining, as it really helps support the channel. Other than that, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? A trans person peed here, you survived. This is the kind of shit that makes people intolerant. I mean, what the fuck?
If this sticker saying, a trans person peed here and you were unharmed, is what makes you intolerant, I'm sorry to say, but you were intolerant from the get-go. This sticker didn't make you intolerant, it's just an excuse. Genuinely, this sticker harms no one. It shows that trans people can pee in a place and it harms no one. The sticker is funny. You were intolerant anyway.
How do I explain to my kids that this is a man?
Why would you need to do that? Yeah, honestly, in what way does it affect your children's lives? They don't need to know what genitals a random stranger has that they've never met before and probably never will meet. They don't need to know that. That's not an important part of their life. It's never going to impact their lives, and it's weird of you to think so.
Nintendo, why did you ignore the fans' outcry? They're exact lookalikes.
The poo hair is an interesting choice. The bit that really gets me about this is that they had to draw this. Not because, you know, they have the artistic talent to, but because if you look at any picture of Hunter Schafer, including, I'll get the picture that they've based their drawing off of, she looks nothing like their drawing. The reality of Hunter Schafer is she doesn't align with this in any way. They couldn't use a real picture of Hunter Schafer because they wouldn't have a point. Hunter Schafer, in fact, is so attractive. I will show you more and more pictures. I struggle to find a bad picture. They are hard to find. So they had to draw this picture of her because it's the only way they could be like, look, see, she looks nothing like Zelda, when the comparison in some of these cases is pretty uncanny.
Lesbianism is a civil rights movement mistaken for a porn category. Transgenderism is a porn category mistaken for a civil rights movement.
No, absolutely wrong. So here's the thing. First of all, being transgender has nothing to do with sex. That's the point. That the statement could end there. But being transgender, it's about your gender, not your sex. So it doesn't affect your sexuality. So it also doesn't really have anything to do with porn, because being transgender doesn't have anything to do with your sexuality. Additionally, Republicans and red states are the #1 consumers of trans porn. That, however, is not a defining characteristic of being trans. The fact that trans porn exists does not make it a defining characteristic of being trans. And also, the only people that are salty about it existing are the people that consume the most of it. So it's like, it's just pure projection. It's pathetic. New Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy sent a letter to all 50 governments demanding the state remove any political painting on the roads, including rainbow crosswalks. Roads are for safety, not political messages or artwork. So, as a driver, I really need to put my opinion in there because, first of all, I like a rainbow crosswalk. I think they're fun. I keep saying crossworks. I like the rainbow crosswalks. I think they are fun. Secondly, as a driver, as someone who drives, a rainbow crosswalk is so much easier to see than a black and white one. When the road is already black and there's already white markings on the road, a crosswalk being rainbow stands out so much better than a black and white stripy crosswalk. I need to put that that out there because it is so much easier to see that there's a crosswalk there. So much easier. It's a better design, even from a non-LGBT standpoint. Ignoring the reason it exists, being related to pride, it's a better design. The Trump administration is shutting down the national LGBTQ+ youth suicide lifeline on July 17th. The Trevor Project can be reached directly at 1-866-488-7386. Even when this is going to be gone, please share to possibly save someone's life. I can do charity drives on videos, right? That's a thing, right? I'm gonna do a Trevor Project charity thing on this video. You can donate directly to them on this video if you want to support a helpline that is actually out there trying to help queer youth. I'm gonna do that on this video. That's it. I think it's pathetic and disgusting that the Trump administration is removing access to suicide helplines for youth. That's very clearly putting forward the message that they want these people to die. So yeah, spread this number to anybody that needs it. I'm gonna put a charity drive on here. Feel free to donate. That's it. That's the message. So this one, I can't even be bothered to read all of these, but it's a lot of nothing to be proud of and a lot of statistics in air quotes about queer people saying that they have diseases or that they're abusers and blah, 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 blah. And I looked at every single one of the sources that they linked so that you don't have to. You can if you want, but you don't have to. And a few things of note. First of all, that the most recent source of all of the sources they linked is from 2001, 24 years ago. First piece of information. Second piece of information, multiple of these are literally just inflammatory articles. They're not studies, they are articles that are titled things like, "Is being gay wrong?" Second of all, a lot of these are from the 80s. The 80s, the earliest one is from the 1950s. That's 75 years old. I mean, like, a lot of these, at the very least, are over 40 years old, right? And they come from an era where everywhere was really homophobic. In a lot of places, being gay was still illegal. There was an epidemic going on where the government was refusing to give medical aid to gay people because they wanted them dead. And we're supposed to just take articles from that era saying, you know, gay people bad, as like face value, definitely not biased, definitely not twisting statistics there for review. Like, come on. Put your cock in my mouth.
Sir, you can't read porn here. It's for children only.
This is another case of conservatives have zero f***ing clue what they're talking about, right? Unsurprisingly. But one, no one's reading these kinds of books in schools. There are textbooks that are being read in schools that have things presented from, you know, an objective standpoint of this is how biology works. But Genderqueer, the exact book they're using, written by Maya Kababe, I believe? Well, I have a quote from Kababe. Yeah, I was right. It is Maya Kababe. I'm just gonna read that. From the author of Genderqueer, from the author of this book, from this graphic novel, Genderqueer is a comic and in full color, but that doesn't mean it's for children, Kababe said in an interview with Washington Post Thursday. I originally wrote it for my parents and then for older teens who were already asking these questions about themselves. I don't recommend this book for kids. The author of the book is saying it's not for children. Conservatives using this as an example of like, look at the things that liberals are showing children is like, no, this book is literally definitively written for teens and adults. At no point has anybody ever shown this to children or said that you should show this to children, including the author of the book. Sir? It's ma'am. Okay, ma'am. That rash on your balls is jock itch. What's the joke here, though? That, haha, funny, she has balls. As if she doesn't know that. What, trans people just don't know what genitals they have? Oh, funny. Like, the implication here is that she's gone to the doctor because she has a rash on her balls. She knows she's got balls. There's no joke there. The punchline is she already knows. That's not a joke. Why else would she be at the doctor asking about a rash on her balls if she didn't know she had balls? That's not a joke. This is Barry Weiss's trans rights reporter. Normal gay reacts to woke LGBTQ TikToks. They're insane. Dude's duck facing in the thumbnail too. Is he trying to make himself like look more gay? So he's like, see, gay conservatives exist. But calling yourself a normal gay in a conservative reaction video is just such a like pick me mentality, right? It's straight up just the mentality of like, well, if I call myself a normal gay and push the ideologies that conservatives want me to push, then maybe I won't be sent to the concentration camps. No, dude, when they get that far, you're going as well. You know, looking at history, this exists a lot, right? We have, for example, the Jews for Hitler movement was a thing. It doesn't help. It's still going to be a genocide. Hitler still had a genocide for the Jews. There's still a genocide going on for trans folks, minorities, and gay people will follow that. You just have to look at the voting records of so many Republican Congress members and the things that Republican Congress members say about gay marriage. You're not safe just because you're one of the good ones. You never will be. The only way to be safe is to get rid of the people that make you feel the need to be one of the good ones. You'll be a lot happier that way too.
Unlike a trans person, the bill passed.
Trans derangement syndrome. Bringing up trans people when you have nothing of value to say.
Trans is the biggest threat to democracy and national security. Innocent straights just want to live our lives, but trans people literally want to kill us.
Holy projection, Batman. Oh, God. It so fucking annoys me when people just pull random shit like this out of their ass. It really does. Trans people weren't mentioned here, but they brought up trans people anyway. They say trans people are the biggest threat to democracy and national security. Let's take a look at who in the recent years, you know, have been declared as a threat to national security. Trans people? No. Threat to democracy? No. They vote. They actually support democracy. It's Republicans that are currently trying to defy democracy. National security? What's it the FBI said about? Oh yeah. White supremacy is a threat to national security. Not trans people. Interesting that, isn't it? That, you know, conservative Republicans are the problem and not trans people or drag queens. Innocent straights just want to live our lives, but trans people literally want to kill us. Trans people just want to live their fucking lives. Trans people are 4 times more likely to be assaulted than cis people. 4 times more likely to be the victims of violent crime than cis people. This statistic is a lot more up to date than the statistics shown previously in this video. This statistic is from 2021. Trans people want to live their lives in safety, being whoever the fuck they want to be. It's straight conservatives that are going, no, you're not allowed to do that actually. I get to decide who you're allowed to be. Claiming
straight people just want to live their lives,
while saying that trans people existing is a threat to your life and your national security is so woefully maliciously stupid.
Hey kid, want a gender lollipop? Yum. Groomer, cloak of invisibility.
Groomer where? I don't see nothing. What? What does a gender lollipop? Also, what in the fucking Willy Wonka is that lollipop? That looks like it would be so uncomfortable to eat. It's like one of those everlasting gobstoppers that makes no sense. But this artist will never cease to amaze me in the concepts that they come up with, because they are either some delirious fever dream like this that's just leaves you going, what the fuck did I just look at? Or they're like, they make trans people look badass, you know? There's only those 2 comics they make. They either make comics that make trans people look awesome, or they come up with the most delirious, like fever dream level what is going on comics that don't make any sense. And this is one of those. Conservatives are obsessed with genitals. Says the person demanding they be able to show kids theirs. I'm gonna stop this one for a second here just to talk about that, because what in the straw man? Who has said that? No one. No one is saying they want to show kids their genitals. No one. You know what I saw earlier today before recording this video? A fucking Republican is shifting the laws on underage sex because one of his family members had sex with a 13-year-old. A Republican. No, not a drag queen, not a liberal, not a gay person, not a trans person, a Republican conservative.
Go to a drag parade and say that and see how wrong you are.
So I've got to just put it out there. I went to Pride last week, 2 weeks ago of this video coming out, really. I went to Brighton Pride, one of the biggest Pride events in the UK, if not the biggest Pride event in the UK. I saw a lot of drag queens. I didn't see a single pair of genitals. I didn't see a single penis, a single vagina. I didn't even see an uncovered titty. Go to a drag parade and you'll see how wrong you are, says the person who has never been to any kind of drag or pride or queer parade ever in their life. They're just making shit up. They're making shit up and going, this is how the world works. Queer people are the problem, with nothing to back that up. No evidence, nothing to support that. They're just saying whatever the fuck they feel like so that they can use it as an excuse to hate queer people. That's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally, you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support the channel. All of your names are up on screen right now, and it genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. You also get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month if you do choose to support the channel, so genuinely that helps a lot. I am so tired. I think I've thrown my voice out a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.